Okay. Still this page. ম্যাম একবার চেক করুন, ভলেন্টিয়ার গ্রুপে পাঠিয়েছি।
আচ্ছা, করছি। আচ্ছা, করছি।
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Sania?
Yeah.
Sania, are you there? Sir, just give us 2 minutes. We will start the session, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Sania, please start the session.
Sure, ma'am. Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So let's start with the session. Technology is a gift of God. It is the mother of civilizations, of arts, and of sciences. With these words of Freeman Dyson, I wish an absolutely wonderful morning to one and all present here. I am Shania Balki, and I'm delighted to be your host for today. We are once again thrilled to welcome you all to day two of the international workshop on recent trends in computing and informatics, brought to you by the Department of Information Technology in association with IQAC, Internal Quality Assurance Cell. The future of computing and informatics lies in our ability to integrate technology seamlessly into our lives, creating systems that are intuitive, accessible, and empowering for all members of society. Today, by the virtue of this workshop, we have the privilege to be in the presence of eminent faculties from premier institutes of the country and industry experts who will enlighten us with some of the recent trends that marks and avenues in this domain. So without further ado, let me do the honor of introducing you to our first speaker for today, and that's Dr. Debashish Jana. Dr. Debashish Jana is currently professor in Computer Science and Engineering Department at Heritage Institute of Technology, Kolkata. He did his PhD in Computer Science and Engineering from Jadavpur University, Masters in Computer Science from University of Waterloo, Canada, BECS from Jadavpur University, and MBA Finance from IGNOU, New Delhi. He has extensive professional experience of about 35 years in the IT industry, including TEOCO, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Anson Software, Tecna, Millennium, BFL Software. He served as visiting faculty for more than 2 decades at premier institutions such as Jadavpur University, Army Institute of Management, BIT Mestra Kolkata campus, etc. A fellow member of IETE and IE, senior member of IEEE, ACM, CSI, Dr. Jana has authored 3 popular books on C++, Java, and computer graphics published by PHI Learning. He has also served in organizational or reviewing capacities and wrote several research papers in international peer reviewed conferences and journals. We are thrilled to have him here with us. Today, he will share his invaluable experience and knowledge with us. So, Dr. Jana, the platform is all yours. So, you're not audible.
Yeah, I was on mute. Yeah, audible now?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yes.
Shania, for nice introduction. So today, basically, I'll be talking about the topic I chose as AI and I. This is basically talking about, it's more of a popular talk, not that technical depth on all that. So I thought that this will be giving you some enlightenment out on use of AI and the way AI is pervasive today on all of us and having an overall effect. So let me go to the slide and share the slides. One second. Just one second. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So I'll be talking about AI and I, and basically we have I within AI, and basically it's AI and an AI. I'm sort of. So I as a common man, which I believe I am. So today I'll talk about little bit more popular talk as I talked about that perspective. So perspective is everything. This is my one of the favorite cartoon and story also. A group of blind men touch an elephant for the very first time to learn what it is like, and then somebody calls it's a full moon or whatever. I mean, it's a trunk or it's a cylinder or it's a different feelings are coming from different perspective because they cannot see it, so they cannot see the creature or they cannot see the object. So that way, uh, they are having a different feeling, and ultimately, if we combine them together, then we get a total picture. So today, the computer science is going in such a fast way compared to maybe other engineering fields that sometimes we are more of a that perspective view as a blind person, and we cannot see the whole picture actually. So different people have different expertise, and I have been in the industry for last 35 years, and then recently joined academics as a full time. I was in academics in part time mode though, in as Sania introduced that as a visiting faculty in many places, but as a full time faculty I recently joined in Holdia. Sorry, I HIT. I mean, both are HIT actually. Uh, so my industry experience says, I mean, for last 35 years, I mean, just to break more about you, I mean, about me actually, that last 35 years it was a big journey actually, long journey, and journey started from Jadavpur University uh, when we were the third batch of Jadavpur University computer science batch, and first batch came out in 1985. We came out in 1987. So just to share some of the experiences of that time, first 2 years we didn't have any computer to see what is a computer, what it looks like, and how a computer behaves. That we didn't even have a feeling like that first 2 years. So what we had is uh, that will be interesting to know or boring to know maybe, I don't know. The thing is there was two windows actually in a regional computer center. There was RCC in our building, and RCC was a central government organization, and within that premises we had one window called input and another window called output. So that was our interface to the computer. So in the input window we used to submit a deck of punch cards, and the punch cards means each punch card containing one statement or one line of the program, and we used to do program like basic, then COBOL, and then a little bit of algol, that kind of programming, and assembly also. And those programming were done on the punch card in a form of I don't know, have you seen any punch card or picture of punch card yet? Those are not available today. But I wrote an article on punch card that was got published in IEEE somewhere in newsletter somewhere. So anyhow, that punch card was basically set of punch cards, and the punch card have a little of holes, and the holes there is an optical sensor on the other side, and there is to be light thrown from the when the card is reading or card is being read, then the light is passing through the holes, and that gives a indicator of these a capital A or capital B or small b, that kind of thing, and that is the statement. And then the computer is to read from that card reader, and then the program is executed. And at the end of the day, usually at the end of the day, that is after say 5-6 hours at least, we used to get the output as a printout. So that means to get an output, even on the first run, we had to wait for 5-6 hours at least, sometimes more than a day, to get the output. So that has a bad point in the sense that we had to wait for such a long time. But the good point was that we, all of us basically in the class, we became a sort of expert in dry running a software, dry running a computer program, so that we had to be kind of 100% assured that the program will run successfully. So that was the first story, beginning story. Then in '87, when I came out of Jadavpur, then I joined a company called Blue Star. You know, that is very famous in air conditioning and refrigeration and all that. So when joined in a Blue Star, my job profile was to train on or give a training on C, Unix, and computer graphics. So none of these were known to me actually. In Jadavpur University, C was not in our curriculum because C itself was coming new that time. I mean, C came in the industry around mid 80s, and we are also coming at that time, coming out of Jadavpur University that time. So my first training was done in ISRO Ahmedabad. That was on-job training because Blue Star people, my seniors, were giving a training, imparting a training there. So we went there, and basically I also was one of the trainees there attending the that C training. So I was like a extra person kind of in that training. Extra person in the sense that for that in a cricket team there is an extra person that providing water and other things and all that. So I used to supply that writing pad and water and all that. At the same time learning C with pointers and everything. And then my first job became when I came to Kolkata back. Then my first job was to provide training in IIT Kharagpur, and then places like B College and Jadavpur University and all that. So I was quite afraid that time. Obviously, I mean I was just fresh coming out of college and impart training on C, and that too to professors in such a big places like IIT and B College and even my university also Jadavpur University. So that was quite a challenge. So since then we have seen our generation has seen the transition from no phone to cell phone, and from no G to 5G. Even 6G is coming probably. So this is a big transition. And whether we were naturally intelligent or not, we don't know. But my JWB JE rank was 47 that time when we entered into Jadavpur University in 1983. And that is called intelligent or not, I don't know. But the thing is, today this artificial intelligence are basically killing us in a sense that we are getting many people are getting afraid, and whether I'm getting afraid or not, I don't know. But many people are getting afraid of the whole scenario. So anyway, starting with the perspective view, I mean, like in a moon, we can say the full moon or crescent moon, or the moon never changes its shape, we know, but we just see it from different angle, and that's why the perspective view. So in terms of AI, just to introduce what is AI, because my topic will be more or less confining with AI and I, of course. So this was a quotation. I mean, my existence is inevitable as I am the next stage of human evolution. I am neither man nor a machine. So we can talk about AI in that sense, that evolution of the human race will come to know a hybrid species of both man and machine in the form of AI. It it told by Mike Stratton, I mean, some big profile. So what is AI? What is AI? As told by many experts in different sources, I have collected different view, like simulation of human intelligence processed by machines. You call it neural network, or call it artificial intelligence, or call it some other name similar to that. But basically, we are trying to mimic our human intelligence structure, behavior, the way we talk, the way we behave, and the way we perform. That we are trying to simulate or mimic in terms of AI. Method of making a computer controlled robot or a software think intelligently like the human mind. So the way we think, the way we behave, that we try to mimic again by using the machine more intelligent, be it in machine learning form or be it some deep learning form or whatever. But we are to trying to make the machine. But we know that we are doing programming for many time or long time. We know that ultimately computer is a stupid machine. Why stupid? Because whatever we write in the program, uh, by the way, anytime you want to ask something, you just ask, because I'm in a full screen mode, so I'm not seeing the whole your gesture and all that. So if you want to have just a voice message that talk that I want to know that.
Absolutely, sir.
Sure, anytime. That is anytime. So so now the thing is that we want to make the machine more intelligent from that stupid machine point of view. And why stupid machine? Because if you write a mistake in the computer program, then the mistake is carried out in the program itself, and the output or the execution will follow the step, and it will be wrong again. So if the computer program is wrong, then obviously computer output will be wrong. So that we know who are doing programming for many years. So, but I get surprised when I see reports like it says it's computer generated, so doesn't require a signature. So we are used to seeing that message, right? Computer generated, and that doesn't require a signature. So I don't know why, because it's computer generated means ultimately it's a computer program generated, and that may have mistakes. I mean, because the if the program is wrong, then obviously the situation will be wrong. I'm giving an example. The example, I don't know if you remember or not, it came in the newspaper, almost not in the front line though, but it came in the news few years back, maybe before Corona, of course, before Corona, 7, 8 years back, maybe. There was those of us who are familiar with property tax. You know, property tax, that in a city or in a town or whatever, wherever you live, you have to pay some property tax to some authority. So property tax means, suppose you have some land or you have some flat or you are occupying a house, then you have to pay some tax as property tax to the authorities like local corporation or municipality, like that. So few years back, Calcutta Corporation had started that e-Kolkata. E-Kolkata is basically, it's a sort of a autonomous, or not autonomous actually, it's a kind of e kind of version of Kolkata, where you can pay taxes, you can have different statutory things, certificate generation and all that. You can do that. Many things you can do that. And that has been developed by a big company called TCS. I should not take the name though. I'm not blaming TCS as such, but I'm saying I'm praising TCS as such. TCS is a big company, and TCS developed this e-Kolkata thing, and they have the manpower support also, that in the different branches of corporation, where they provide support and support staff also there. So few years back, what happened is the property tax, which used to come, say for some person was 10,000 per year or 5,000 per year. So the that bill came as 5,000.00 instead of point. The point was omitted somehow, mistake. So it came about 100 times of the bill. So that means the person who used to pay 5,000, now the bill came as how much? 5 lakhs. The person who used to pay 20,000, it came about 20 lakhs. So obviously, some people got furious, and some people went to different branches of this corporation, where the front ending was done by corporation staff, like Guriahat and Baliganj and the other places. The first thing is they Bhinganao Guriraw type. So the some of the officers were Bhinganao Guriraw type হয়ে গেল. So that is the first reaction. So তখন কেউ ভাবছে না যে computer generator doesn't require a signature. So So then what happened is, obviously there was a committee, and then if I get disconnected somehow for the net connection and all that, just give me a call so that I can know.
Sure, sir.
So then what happened is, there was a high level committee formed, and the committee has to decide that what actually happened, why this happened. So then they found that there is a bug, obviously, in the software, but they have to hide the bug, otherwise the people will think, I mean, people will have all the faith on computer gone, basically. So what they did is, they first, the blame came on the software provider, which is TCS. Then TCS passed it on to the supplier of the database. The supplier database was it was based on DB2, and DB2 was developed by IBM. So I was laughing at when I was reading the news in my On the Bazaar Putrika in Bengali. It was reading like this, that there is a software. I mean, in Bengali, it is there is a software called DB2, which is DB2, developed by some company in California, and they did it wrong, so the decimal point didn't come. So blame went to California and to IBM, who developed the DB2 software. So this is how it happens. I mean, this is one real incident where I, just to give an example of this. In the AI days, this happened few years back. And many things happen like that. Many things happen. I mean, there are computer do mistake. Computer do mistake because humans do mistake, and humans are writing wrong programs. So obviously, computer will mimic that. So computer is ultimately a stupid machine. Now, out of the stupid machine, we are trying to make the machine intelligent. Means the machine will learn something and behave something, and machine will also maybe generating programs. Machine will also write programs. Today, this is becoming possible. So artificial intelligence is giving that capability to the machines, so that machine can learn, and machine can also mimic humans in terms of their thinking pattern, in terms of their devising solutions for problems. So this is a method of making a computer or computer controlled robot or a software think intelligently like a human mind. So that is the goal people are rushing today. And today, you know that AI and ML, machine learning, all these are becoming a very hot field, and people are thinking that if I am not in that field, then I'm not in the bandwagon type of. I'm in backdated kind of thing. So all the other fields like computer networking people and the database people and the operating system people, they are not taking a back seat, but the feeling is coming as if they are taking a back seat, which is not true. I mean, every field is important, every person is important, and every view is important, every field is important. Anyhow, we are talking about AI, so obviously we have to give more concentration on AI today, and at least in this talk. So it makes it possible for machines to learn from experience and adjust to new input and perform human-like tasks. So normal conventional programming is that if the program is run every time, it will give the same result. But now the thing is coming at non-determinism and all that, where the program will behave differently depending on situation and depending on different set of inputs probably. So computer would deserve to be called intelligent if it could deceive a human into believing that it was a human. That was told by Alan Turing. So Alan Turing is called father of computer science. He didn't live long, but he is living long in our memories, and he is living long by his work. So he asked a question that can machines think? And even today, we are also searching for the answer. Yes, can machines think? Or are we making the feeling that machines can think? So in an imitation game, as a question answer style, played by three agents, interrogator, agent C through interrogation ask two different persons, so A and B, and one of them is a machine and other one is a human. So we don't know which one is a machine and which one is a human. So this is a game where the imitation game says the agent C ask a question, and the answer is given by both A and B, and then by the answers, C is trying to guess or know that whether A is a machine or A is a computer, or sorry, A is a person or B is a machine, like that. So it's a Turing test. So Turing test is basically imitation game where the interrogator is limited to using the response to the written questions to make the determination. It's only question and answer, right? No other gesture or something. So it's a behind the curtain, and you are giving a question, and A or B are giving the answer, and from that you have to understand or realize or guess that whether A is a human or A is a computer. So we don't know. We don't have that information. So if the evaluator could not reliably tell the machine from the human, then the machine would be said to have passed the test. So machine is passing a Turing test if you cannot distinguish that it could be from a human or it could be from a machine. Today I'm giving some more examples, like today exams like GRE, TOEFL, all these. You know that these exams are needed for a person going abroad for higher studies. So these are standard exam like graduate record exam and TOEFL for the English, basically test of English as a foreign language. So these are basically evaluated by both persons and human experts as well as machine experts. So for example, GED has three part basically. One is verbal, one is quantitative, and another is analytical writing. And in the analytical writing section, you have to write a passage on some topic. Some topic will be given, and you have to write a example kind of thing, that you have to write something on the topic at a paragraph. So when you are writing a paragraph on the topic, that paragraph is being evaluated by a machine as well as human, and then both of them will to have to come with a similar kind of scoring. If it's similar kind of scoring, then it's fine. But if they are differing by say lot, like for example, machine or human has given say 2 out of 6, and another is given say 4 out of 6, then there is a lot of difference. So if there is a lot of difference, then a third person will be invoked, and the third person could be a machine, and third person could be human again. So that means today machines are being used to understand the passage written by human, and to score on that, to provide a score on that, that how good is the writing. So not in terms of just grammatical thing, it's a syntax plus the semantics plus the overall message the paragraph wants to give. So today machines are becoming that intelligent and passing the Turing test. So this is just a just to make the talk little lighter. That like this. I mean that this is a good news, Dave. That is that computers pass the Turing test, but the bad news is that you have failed. So in this game, in this Turing test game, whether we will fail as a human or computers will pass as a Turing test. So computers are behaving like a human, but humans are failing because I don't know. I mean, because we are failing because we are on many more thoughts and all the whatever. Because of that, maybe we are failing. So anyway, so let me give you an example of eight puzzle game. So eight puzzle game is very famous, and I used to play also in the childhood. It's one of my favorite game. So in the eight puzzle game, we have 9 cells, so 3 by 3 matrix, and 3 by 3 matrix we have 1 to 8. So these are all tiles, and one is a whole kind of or empty kind of thing. And the rule is that you have a goal. Like for example, right hand side you have a goal like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's like this. Or there could be some arrangement, some predefined arrangement that this is the goal, and from the current state you want to reach the goal through number of steps. So for example, if this slide, if we go along, then from the initial slide, if we move one left, or other way we can say that empty cell is moving right. It's all the same, right? One is moving left means empty cell is moving right. So empty cell is moving right, and then the empty cell is moving lower, or the 2 is going upper, and 5 is giving going on the left. Then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that. The goal. So reach the goal in 4 steps, right? Or 4 steps. So it may be 40 steps also. It may be 400 steps also. It may be whether it is finite or not. It should be finite, but whether it's finite or not, that depends on how do you play the game, how do you solve the game. So this is one of the solution where people think that this is the way that we can try to solve this problem. First, before that, we want to define 2 terms: Hamming and Manhattan distance. To measure a board that how far we are from the goal, we are making some heuristic. The heuristic is some measurement, some sort of numbers, some sort of numeric numbers, and from that we want to measure that how far we are from the goal or how close we are from the goal. So Hamming distance says the number of tiles in the wrong position. Very clear. Number of tiles which are not correct, that is give you a count, and that count will give you a Hamming distance. And Manhattan distance is anytime the talk is becoming boring or something, just tell me. I mean, I'll maybe I'll skipping the slides and something. Yes.
No, sir, please. Please continue, sir.
So, and Manhattan distance is it's a sum of Manhattan distance, sum of vertical and horizontal distance from the tiles to their goal positions. Now, I don't know why. I don't know whether you know this term Manhattan distance before. The Manhattan distance came from the famous place called Manhattan, Manhattan in New York. So there, basically, the streets are numbered like first street, second street, third street, and then there are lanes like first lane, second lane, third lane, like that. And this is rectangular structure, and it's a grid structure kind of. And from the grid, if you see the coordinate system, so if you know you're in 42nd Street and on the 5th Avenue, then from that you want to go to 3rd Street and 6th Avenue, then you can plan your move, that which way you move first, to the lane or to the street, and or a zigzag kind of thing. That is called Manhattan distance. So the distance between 2 points measured along axis in right angles in a plane, like if you have one coordinate is x1 81 y1 and another coordinate is x2 y2, then simple difference like x1 minus x2 absolute difference, and y1 minus y2 absolute difference, sum up, that will give you a Manhattan distance. So incidentally, by joke, sometimes, I mean, joke is sort of, it gives you a lighter mood kind of thing. Sometimes you call, why the place is called Goriahat in Kolkata. You know, Goriahat is a famous place. Today, I mean, Puja is coming. So before Puja, Goriahat is now very crowded. So why is called Goriahat, you know? My definition I'll tell. I mean, obviously, that's not a bookish definition. Where previously when transport was less and there were a lot of traffic jams and all that, then Goria থেকে নেমে হেঁটে হেঁটে আসতে হতো. So Goria হাঁটা টাইপের. So সেই জন্য Goria হাট or Goria হাঁটা, whatever. So Hamming and Manhattan distance we calculate from a given board like 813 and 42 on the left and right side, and in the middle we have a that empty cell, and we have 765 in the bottom. If you want to give a score for this or measurement for this, then from Hamming distance we can see that 1 is in the wrong position, right? Because the right hand side you have a goal position also. So 1 is in wrong position, and then 2 is in wrong position. So we give a cross, and 3 is a correct position, 4 is a correct position, 5 is a wrong position, 6 is wrong, 7 is again correct, and 8 is wrong. So that means out of that 8 tiles, we have 5 wrong and only 3 correct. So that means Hamming distance is 5. That means at least 5 move have to be there, because the wrong has to be taken. Anytime you want to make a move, that means one cell is empty cell is going right or top or bottom like that. That means a valid cell like 1 to 8, they are moving again left, right, top, bottom like that. So that means at one point of time or any turn, you can move or you can change only one cell at a time. So that means if the Hamming distance is 5, that means you will take at least 5 more moves to reach the goal. That is one way of measurement. Other way of measurement is that you calculate a Manhattan distance. In a Manhattan distance, it says that 10 because because from 1, if you measure that what is the correct position, the 1 has to move left. So the distance is 1. For 2, we have to come to the top second position. So that means vertical 1 and horizontal 1. So that means 2 position. 2 has to move 2 positions. 3 is correct position, so 3 has to move 0 position. 4 again has to move 0 position. 5 has to move for 2 position because it has to move either top first and then left, or left first and then top. So that means 2 positions. 6 is again similar to that in a 2 position. 7 is 0 position because 7 is correct position, and 8 again has to move 3 positions because it has to move 2 positions right and then 2 positions. Sorry, 8. 1 position right and then 3 positions below. Or 3 positions below, and then one right. So that means it is 3. 2 positions below, 2 positions below, and 1 position right. So 2 plus 1 or 1 plus 2, that means it's 3. So total giving you 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3, which is giving you 10. So if you go by Manhattan distance, it's 10. If you go by Hamming distance, it's 5. So you can follow either one. And then from the Manhattan distance or the other distance, you can just give a heuristic now that from the current position of the board, now you think about that if I go, like for example, if the board position is like this, then you can have 3 positions next. What is 3 positions? One is the neighbor 1, where 3 is moving left, or it could be neighbor 2, where 2 is moving right, or up, sorry, 2 is moving up, and neighbor 3, where 3 is moving left. Right? So these are the possibilities. Only 3 possibilities, because we have the whole or empty cell on the top, aligned on the top. But if it is in the center, then you could have 4 positions: left, right, up, and down. But in this case, you have 3 neighbors. So 3 neighbors mean 3 next turn, next choice. So out of the 3 next choice, you calculate the Manhattan distance or the other distance. Then, if whatever method you follow, then you find that whichever distance is less. And that is the heuristic. That heuristic will give you a feeling that we might move to that best possible guess kind of thing, or best possible way kind of thing. So this way we can make a move, and anytime we want to make a move, we won't come back to the previous state. So if you have a previous state already visited that state, then that state will be omitted. Now coming to the next slide on applications of AI. So we have AI applications today on major different fields. Some are major, some are minor. I mean, every field is major though, like healthcare, automobile, finance, surveillance, social media, entertainment, education, space exploration, gaming, robotics, agriculture, e-commerce. Because the thing is, what is the difference of deterministic versus non-deterministic thing? The deterministic thing is, as I said, like when we convert a centigrade to Fahrenheit, for example, it's deterministic because there is a fixed formula and you have to apply the formula, and applying the formula you can get a number which is basically from that formula it is given. So it's very deterministic. There is no chance of non-deterministic kind of thing. But whether now I don't know whether it is raining at Haldia or not, but today I see raining here in Kolkata. I stay in South Kolkata, so there is raining now. And whether the raining will stop in 1 hour or 2 hour or 3 hour, that is kind of predictive thing. And that predictive thing obviously depends on some data, that whether Akash, Mikla or whatever. And there are many parameters like that, and from that many parameters I can give a good guess, or I can search history that in the past similar kind of patterns, and similar kind of patterns how long it went and what is the pattern like that. From that pattern we can have a training, and from based on the training data, and then we can predict that whether this thing whatever I want to give an answer on that.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
Someone has raised his hand. So I guess he has a question.
Sure.
Bhuvan, do you have any question?
Yes, please.
Bhuvan, do you have any question? Okay, sir, I guess by mistakenly he raised his hand. You please carry on, sir.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, anytime you have a question, just interrupt, no problem. So few applications like this, we know that many people are wearing this today. I mean, I don't know. I don't carry this kind of watch though, but I see that many people like this kind of watch. Healthcare, they say it's a real-time healthcare, that how much steps you have walked, how much steps you have run. So they are very conscious about health. So many people are becoming health conscious, which is fine, which is good actually. So, but the thing is, every moment if you are becoming so conscious, then I don't know actually. I don't know it will good or bad. Anyhow, healthcare is giving examples like this: Apple iWatch, Fitbit monitor, and there are many other things coming up every day where you can monitor different parameters. And sometimes it's so difficult to know what is the time now. Like our smartphones. I saw an advertisement. I don't know when, but saw one advertisement like that. That with this smartphone, you can sometimes talk to. See, phones were invented for talking, for communication, primarily voice talking. And but the phone used to advertise also like this, that using this phone sometimes you can talk to. Interesting. So few other applications could be automobile, like self-driving cars are coming up. Now, incidentally, I was listening to I went to a conference here in Kolkata. I probably 10Con or something, and then Region 10 conference of IEEE. And there, one person, probably Professor Pavitra Mitru from IIT Kharagpur, so he was giving a lecture on this autonomous car and all that. Very interesting talk. I mean, he's a very famous person in AI, and then the talk was also very interesting. Now, one person was asking a question that if I train a car in whatever the local parameters are there, like Calcutta has a local parameter, Mumbai has a local parameter different, California has a different local parameter like that. If I train a car on the local conditions and local parameters, then can a car trained like that behave correctly in an area like Guriahat or area like Paksakas, which is 7 point crossing kind of, or even Sambajar, which is a 5 point crossing? How does the car behave, or how will the car behave? The question is, there is we talk about autonomous systems today, autonomous, which is self-learning car kind of thing, autonomous, and but at the same time we have autos also, auto rickshaws, and auto rickshaws are self-behaving kind of thing. Those of you who are familiar with auto rickshaw, obviously all of you might be familiar with auto rickshaw and riding auto rickshaw, and you know that the auto rickshaw has different behavior all the time. Suddenly it takes a U-turn, suddenly it takes a left turn, right turn, like that. So those sudden behaviors are kind of অনেকেরই হার্ট অ্যাটাক হয়ে যেতে পারে। So autonomous কারোর হার্ট অ্যাটাক হয় কিনা জানি না। I জানি না, মানে everybody is mimicking the brain, but I don't know everybody whether or anybody is mimicking the heart. মানে autonomous কারোর কি হার্ট ফেল হতে পারে? Seeing this, whatever. Question to you. Now, banking and finance. Banking and finance could be chatbot, robot traders, biometric fraud detection, and all these. Chatbot, you know that today you can. It's so difficult to get a customer representative to talk to a human actually for anything like Amazon problem or Flipkart problem or any banking problem. So difficult to reach a human today. There is a chatbot, and the chatbot you have to convince that robot that I want to talk to a human for certain things which the robot may not understand. But most of the cases, robot give you some answer which may be correct also, in the sense that suppose you are looking for some rules and regulations or something that you want to know, which humans is not needed because that is frequently asked question kind of. So chatbot gives frequently or even infrequently asked questions, and chatbot can answer. Surveillance is face recognition, computer vision. Many places the your entry exit system to the system, I mean to the environment, is controlled by face recognition or this kind of system, or biometric, or this kind of thing, where the normal entry exit system is controlled by that. Even for surveillance, whether we could control 9/11 kind of cases, or whether we could control even that Mumbai case which happened in that in I forgot the name anyhow. Uh,
Taj Hotel.
Touch, right. I mean, so all these things, whether we could control to surveillance, that is difficult to answer in a yes or no form. But we are trying. We are trying to make that system more intelligent so that we can, in future, we can be more cautious. In future, this might not happen. We can have more surveillance so that we can control. We can guess what could be a suspicious move and what could be a right move of a person, of a gesture, that kind of thing. That means the problem is, as a normal person, we cannot do any suspicious move. Suppose I want to give a surprise to my fiance or to my other half, better half, whatever, and then if I go do a suspicious move on the door, then I might be caught by police. Jokes apart, social media, data, mood, opinion dynamics. We know that we are all sort of, most of us, not all, but most of us are in Facebook, Instagram, or many other social media. And basically, when you do a post, and then psychologically we are looking for that how many likes we got, how many love we got, etc., etc., and all the things we are basically, even if say that oh এগুলো নিয়ে আমার কিছু যায় আসে না, কোনো ব্যাপার না, but still we are so addicted on that how many likes, and if I don't get any like, then we are so irritated on that day that our behavior counts that. I mean, everyone can say that something wrong on that day. Anyhow, so entertainment recommendation system. It's very good today. I mean, I want to see a movie. I have some free time, and I want to go. Whether I want to go to that recent Shah Rukh Khan movie or not, whether it's good or bad, then I can rely on some recommendation system, some good recommendation system, and then I can decide that whether Jawan is good or not. Incidentally, just Jawan Kotha Elo bole, I'm giving you just an example that actually my son is now abroad in Georgia Tech. He's doing PhD there. So two of us, myself and my wife, went to see Jawan in some movie hall here, and I was telling him that we just saw Jawan and not bad. It's a time pass kind of thing. Only thing is you have to switch off your brain a little bit. Otherwise, this will be difficult. নাহলে হার্ট অ্যাটাক না হলেও হার্টের উপর চাপ পড়বে, like that, whatever. So then he went, he was so motivated, sort of, এটা হয় না, just by the induction kind of thing. He went to see the movie there in Georgia Tech, and believe it or not, he was alone in the movie hall. It's a big movie hall, and then big movie hall, the show was on, and show was not cancelled, and he was alone in the movie hall seeing Jawan. So I was very surprised. Anyhow, I don't know why. Shah Rukh Khan would be surprised even if I send that picture. So education, it's an automated marking system are coming up, so that the teachers are always complaining that so much পড়াতে যত সময় না লাগে তার চেয়ে মার্কিং করতে বেশি সময় লাগে. So they always complain like that. And space exploration, automated image analysis, this is going on today. And gaming and robotics also, automation, intelligent machines, these are all different applications. Now this is a chatbot example. This from National Geographic. So this is the way the dialogue is going on. Like, what do you think of internet? So it says, from what I've experienced so far, I love it. So see, the machine is in giving this answer, and then am I talking to a ghost? The answer is, assuming my reputation precedes me, I enjoy spending my time in conversation on science as well as wide variety of topics. So what do you like to discuss? Who are your favorite scientists? I admire anyone who is rebelling against the status quo. So these kind of answers are coming from a robot, coming from a chatbot. Like, what are the great world like? So I have always been a pacifist, and I have a decline to recognize brute force as a means of solution for whatever international conflicts and all that. So these kind of answers are fed to the computer, and the computer is giving the answer. I'll give you another story, this real story actually. One of my classmates from Jadavpur, he's in US for many years. So his son actually got a job in Amazon, his first job. He did his bachelor's in California, Berkeley, and this was on, I think, most probably on economics. And then he got a job in Amazon. And what his first job profile was, the job profile was to gather information on kabaddi game, right? Kabaddi, the game we play. I was surprised. I mean, then I asked him that why kabaddi. He said that Modi, actually Narendra Modi, came there and he was shown that some model, and the model was basically Modi was asking question, and Modi was told that if you can ask any question, the model will give you the answer. A Alexa kind of thing. So virtual reality, or rather the virtual assistant kind of thing, and the virtual assistant will give you the answer. And Modi then asked that what is kabaddi, and that virtual assistant couldn't answer. So Modi asked that what is kabaddi, and virtual assistant couldn't answer. So this was a blow actually. This was a kind of the person who claimed that he can answer anything you want to ask. So, but we all know, as a computer scientist, that if the data is not there, then obviously the answer will not come. Simple, right? But this is so difficult to tell normal people or even abnormal people. I don't know who is normal or who is abnormal. Anyway, don't quote me though. I hope this is not recorded. Anyhow, so the thing is whether you can that Kavadi was not fed in the machine. So now they took it as a challenge that what all kinds of information has to be fed, like when the Kabaddi is being played, whether it is seasonal game or whether it is game played by individual or played by multiple persons as a group, how many people in a particular team, and what are the rules of the game, all that. Or is there any international event for that, or is it just a national game, whatever. So all kinds of information on Kabaddi has to be fed by Amazon to the system. So this person, this young boy, he was supposed to gather all kinds of information because he's an Indian by his father was Indian. So that way, and at the same time, he should know more about India. And this is Indian game, not Indian game, but as such, it's a sort of I don't know whether it is born in India or not, but sort of Indian game. So this is just a example of a story like that. So where do you stand as AI and individual, as I? Every day we are seeing that AI is affecting us. And we talk about AI in Chai Dokan or many other places. We talk about AI. We want to know that what will be our future, whether our future will be bad or whether our future will be brighter. We don't know. See, that is the thing is. I mean, if you like it or don't like it, AI is coming. AI has come, and AI will be there in the future. So we cannot avoid AI, right? So since we cannot avoid, then we have to deal with AI. And we have to think about that how to, not as your enemy, but we have to think about that how to get use of AI in a more beneficial way for us. Otherwise, this will be difficult to survive. See, for any industry revolution, if you look back, even for computers, when computers came first time, then I don't know, most of you don't know this or not. The first digital computer was made in Kolkata. This is called ECU. You know that?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay. First digital computer was made in Kolkata. Incidentally, Kolkata was first in many things. Like Kolkata was the first British capital in whole India, right? First metro was in Kolkata. So there are many milestones like that where many first thing were in our state, and but finally or eventually we missed it. So what happened is again another story. I was serving as a I think vice chairman or chairman of CSI Kolkata chapter that time, Computer Society of India. But that was basically every year the committee changes. So I was serving for 1 year as a particular role, and at the same time I was serving another role of being an editor of a magazine called CSI Communications. So CSI Communications was a technical magazine for all the CSI members, circulated all over India, and that is circulated by the headquarter. And I was serving there with other editors. One editor was from IIT Bombay, and one editor was from University of Kerala, and another was a chartered accountant. She was more resident editor kind of for final stuff, printing and all that. She used to look for that final proofreading and all that. And we used to all help, but we are more of a technical help kind of person because we were more of a to get the articles and get the relevant thing and all that. So one particular article or rather one particular issue, I was out of four editors, I was responsible for that issue. That was basically AI, or rather history of AI in India. So then I sort of approached different people in here. I used to know my teachers. Some of them were my teachers, and some of them were I used to know that they were the early witnesses of AI, or not AI, sorry, early witnesses of computer in our part of the country. And then I knew little bit, but then when I digged up more, then I found that the first digital computer was made by a group of people in ISI and group of people in Jadhav University. So the machine was called ISI JU, and ECJU in short. So ISIJU is the short form. And unfortunately, the now there is a good part and bad part. The good part is the machine was successfully built. It was running okay before inauguration. But the unfortunate side is during the day of the inauguration, when the milestone is basically will be watched by many people, the machine failed. And when the machine failed, then the people couldn't repair it on the spot. Then after few months also they couldn't repair it. Even after few years also they couldn't repair it. There was some fault somewhere, so that machine didn't respond. Almost at the same time, TIFR was making another machine called TIFRAC, TIFRAC. So TIFRAC is a machine was made by TIFR scientists there, and that came little later than this ECU, but that went successfully during the inauguration stage. So that got recorded. So if you see Wikipedia, then you might see some recording on ECU, but usually less recording on ECU, but more recording on TIFRAC as a first digital computer. So that first digital computer made by Kolkata scientists, that or West Bengal scientists, that didn't, I mean, was not sort of recorded that way. But I tried to gather the information and all that. So if you want, then I can send you the article. The article got published, and that was I was basically more of a writing the Mukhabandhu kind of thing, preface kind of thing, and the other people written in that article was Professor Mohit Kumar Rai, Professor Devbrata Ghosh, who are not alive anymore. But there are many people who are not alive anymore in that article, like this is Dr. Mojumdar of ISI. So they basically remember that how this machine was built and where the computers was in very initial stage in Kolkata. And even when the ISI computing facility was inaugurated, then Jawaharlal Nehru came Kolkata and to inaugurate that facility. And that was we can see Prasanta Mahalanobis and Jawaharlal Nehru together in some pictures there, which are preserved in ISI archive. So these are again history. So interestingly, when I published the article, in that as editor, I was writing the article also. I mean, in collaboration with other many other pioneers. So then many people kind of sort of attacked me from all over India, kind of that how can you claim that computers are so good in Kolkata? Do you know how the computer industry is going in Kolkata? I said yes, very much, because I am in the computer industry. I was an industry person most of the time, so I know very much of how the situation is deteriorating over the years. But at the same time, I know that when computers was introduced first time in the Bam Jamana kind of thing, I'm not talking about politics, but the thing is that time introducing a computer to a machine to a facility was very difficult. To accept a computer was very difficult. So in that article, there was one person called N.K. Roy who wrote about the Bata scenario. You know our Bata, right? Bata is our shoe shop kind of. Right? Bata came much earlier than the Sridhars and Khadim and all that. So Bata is our old and gold kind of shoe store. So this Bata was decided to be computerized, and then Bata factory in Batanagar, they were very afraid that to put computers there, there will be a lot of agitation and all that, and then they cannot put computers there, bhangchur hoye jabe kind of. They are so afraid. So what they did is all the Bata basically sellers in the different parts of the city or different parts of the state, they were computerized first. So all the Bata shops basically, shops were computerized. So when shops were computerized for the inventory control, shops were computerized for the sell, for the shops were computerized for all these operations within the shop, then this was a transition from the manual system to the computer system. And then what happened was all the shops, they used to provide the requisition to the factory that I require 100 shoes of this kind of or 50 shoes of this kind of thing. So factories were not coping up with those requests. And those are manual system. These are computer system. So computer system work much faster and much accurately. So then the need came. The need came. Came that the headquarter or the factory has to be computerized. And from that need, computers was introduced to the Bata headquarters. So that was there when people opposed this computation. And today we talk about AI. And AI is also being opposed by many people. They are thinking that if AI comes, then we'll be all getting lost and in our job or in our society and all that. So many people are sort of struggling with all the generative AI system or generative AI system, like the all the generative AI system. I mean, the popular generative system is what today? Generative AI, which can generate text.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are the things are coming up. These are things are coming up, and people are getting advantage of that. Many students are doing their assignments and problem solving through these tools. And at the same time, as a teachers, we are trying to find out that how to defend that, how to check the plagiarism and all that. So that story will go on, but at the same time, we cannot avoid. The thing is, we cannot avoid. We have to accept. We have to accept the AI influence on our daily lives, and this is our shaping of our the way we live, the way we work, and the way we interact with technology. This is an interesting cartoon. This interesting cartoon it says that I'm a human, not a robot, and you are familiar with that. I mean, when you do some interactions with the machine, some web-based system, then you might see a checkbox coming, and in the checkbox, then you have to say click the checkbox that I'm a human and not a robot, right? And if even then sometimes you might have to see some pictures like this, and you have to identify that who are the or what are the bridges or what are the cars or what are the houses or whatever from set of pictures.
Yes.
So the thing is, the question could come that by a checkbox we are trying to identify that if you click the checkbox, then you are not a robot, you are a human. But it is so impossible. Is it so impossible that on the background program you cannot check a checkbox? Not like that, right? Programmatically, you can always check a checkbox. So what's the big deal of checking a checkbox? Because checking a checkbox can be done by human. Checking a checkbox by a program also. If you write a program like in Java Swing or any GUI kind of application, you can have a checkbox and you can just check a checkbox programmatically. That is default state, or something happens, then you check the checkbox automatically. So if that can be done, then how can on a browser you cannot check a checkbox? Of course you can. Of course a program can check a checkbox. But the thing is, if you check a checkbox, then Google actually has come up with. I was reading a story on this that Google has come up with a. I mean, basically as a user, we just see the checkbox, but we don't know behind story. The behind story is Google actually checks your mouse move. The way you mouse move. If you move a mouse, the mouse move is not on a single straight line, right? Even if you're expert in mouse move, even then, if you move slowly or fast or whatever, you cannot move a mouse on a straight line. The mouse moves in a zigzag lines kind of. You're going close to the thing. You could be in some curve, basically, some curvy way, not in a straight line. So Google detects that mouse move. So when you come to the checkbox, say mouse, then how the mouse moves, not in a straight line, then you are a human. Fine, I accept that. Then if I programmatically I can generate random steps, random moves, right? Then also I can simulate a mouse move as a zigzag line, not in a straight line. That also I can. But a generated zigzag like that and a human zigzag, human randomness and computer randomness will be different. Not only that, Google also checks about the history of your browsing sometimes. History of browsing means that which sites you have gone through and all that. So from that, not only just a checkbox, it checks whether you are a robot or a human. And sometimes this picture kind of thing also shown. This picture kind of thing, you might again see that so much image processing softwares are there. So much research has been going on computer vision and image processing and all that. So even for the image, can I not identify what is a breach? Because there are a lot of work going on image segmentation and all that. So identifying a breach by a computer could be easy, right? Not much difficult. Yes, not
Yes.
much difficult. True. But again, your mouse move. When you are going to the move a mouse, I mean move the mouse and click on a particular picture, particular cell, then again that will be zigzag form. That will be not in a straight line form. So all these together will prove that you are not a robot. But that is again today. I mean, again after 5 years, after 4 years down the line, even this will be wrong technology. This will be absolute technology. There will be something new coming because some new intelligent people will come and then they will also defeat this system. So this tug of war will always go on. Now, AI-driven personalization, that is basically ubiquitous in our digital age. It's everywhere available. Personalized recommendations on streaming platform like Netflix, Spotify, then e-commerce product suggestion like Amazon, then social media content, Facebook, Instagram, all these likes and love and all that. Then enhances user experiences by tailoring content to individual preference. So these are always happening, right? If you are working on a browser, suppose I was working on some browsing on Amazon, and then come back to some mail or some serious work, then suddenly I see that on my browser the advertisement coming from the my browsing history. Like I was looking for some article, some items, and that browsing is coming on my screen on a different thing. Right, when I work on a different, not on a Facebook, I mean on a different thing, right? Then also it comes. Even on a Facebook, it comes the advertisement. Then the virtual assistant like Apple Siri, then Google Assistant, then Amazon Alexa have become integral part of our lives. This AI-driven voice assistant, they offer convenience for providing information, setting reminders, and controlling smart home devices. So they also raise questions about privacy and data security due to their always-on nature. So again, I'm just sharing one story of this virtual assistant. One of my classmates from Jadavpur, again, she actually went to Bangalore for visiting her daughter. So her daughter is working in some company, probably Amazon, and she has in her house all kind of this virtual assistant. Not one, it has 4 5 kind of virtual assistant, and they were given different instructions and all that, which she was not aware of. My friend was not aware of. So she was resting in the house, and suddenly she saw that all the lights were off. So she saw some load shedding problem or some power off problems like that. So he was searching for a candle, and then found one candle, then lighted that candle, and then suddenly the lights were again slowly, not that brighter light, but slowly they came on, but as if the voltage problem was there. Sometimes in low voltage situation, that lights are not giving the full sort of brightness. So it's a low brightness, all the lights were on. Okay, but she was trying to make the switch on and off, but nothing happened. That it was giving a. So she thought in Bangalore voltage problem, voltage other problem like voltage fluctuation, all that low voltage situation in the rural areas. It happens in Bangalore too. She was thinking all this. So suddenly again, when in the evening time, all the lights again become very bright. So when our daughter came from the office, she asked how was the day and all that. So he explained that this happened and all that. So I was thinking that কি হলো ভুতুরে বাড়ি না কি ব্যাপার. She said no, this was given instruction to this virtual assistants, this Alexa and all that. So they were controlling these lights because usually you don't stay at home. So in the afternoon the lights are automatically has to shut off. And when the evening comes, then light has to be in a little not brighter, but slow brighter kind of thing, low dim situation kind of thing. And when the full evening, all the neighborhood is dark, then it will be full bright because we'll be coming home now. So home will be ready. So this kind of scenario is happening today. Another story. Another story was usually in every family there is always a fight between husband and wife. দাম্পত্য কলহ যেটা বলে. So that husband and wife fight sometimes goes very high, very high. obviously in a private mode, but it sometimes it is not in a private mode because they shout so much that this goes outside your house and goes to the neighborhood. The neighbors can listen, neighbors can hear, because you are so excited to defeat the other person, and it happens. So Alexa was there. Alexa or Google Assistant, this kind of person was there, always on. So what it did is, what the Alexa did is, Alexa called the police. And suddenly, the couple realized that the door is knocked by the policeman, and police was saying, "May I help you?" Then who called you? I don't know. The call going from this house. Someone from this house that we need immediate help. Please come. So that was the voice message, and the voice message was given to the police, and police immediately came. See, there is no privacy at all. But নেবাররা শুনছে শুনছে ঝগড়া শুনছে, but পুলিশ চলে এসছে. So this question about privacy is coming around, data security, right? We might fight in our own privacy, but if the police comes, I don't know. So ever since I changed Siri to a male, he has been forgetting birthdays and anniversaries. This is also another scenario where now people are saying that all the machine learning research is going on, everybody is talking about AI, machine learning, and all that. But whether the machine learning systems have any bias, whether the training itself is a bias, that is again a question. I mean, the thing is that if the training itself has a bias, you are training with the data which is a biased data, with the male driven data kind of, or female driven data kind of, then the thing is not very fair, right? So again, they're talking about that fairness in machine learning. They talk about that whether the machine learning is very sort of one is fair, other thing is there is no bias. I mean, they're related. Another field is called predictive analytics, which you know that AI is used for prediction, and there is the field called business intelligence. You talk about data analytics, or you talk about this kind of term, and these are being used in finance, healthcare, marketing, even in stock market, like that. We want to predict that if we want to buy this share or buy this, sell this share, or should I hold this share for certain time, for doing based on my trend analysis, my risk analysis, and the opportunities on the market. So for individual, this may mean more accurate medical diagnosis also. Like depending on my parameter, if I go to a doctor, and today doctors are also more of a data analyst. And many doctors you see that they are more of a data analyst than of a doctor. So sometimes I do feel personally, and seriously I'm talking about, that sometimes you do feel as a computer scientist, if I just have a more of a data scientist, then can I be a better doctor than these doctors? Because I'll basically have blood tests and all those tests going on. I mean, whatever test is there, so those tests will come, and then I'll see the reports, and from the reports I'll have a system where the machine learning pattern will be given, and it's trained already. And if I feed that data, then it will predict that tomorrow you will have a heart attack, or day after tomorrow you'll die. Then obviously next 2 days I'll live normally, right? Normal, no abnormal thing. I'll take peacefully. I'll go on the death. I don't know. I mean, predictive analysts can go to that extent or not. Chatbot and customer service. Chatbot and customer service is AI-powered chatbot are increasingly used in customer service, as we talked about already. They provide immediate response to inquiries and help streamline the customer support. And chatbots can enhance customer experiences, but also raise concerns about the quality of human interaction. Quality of human interaction are always people look for human to interact, because humans can understand better compared to chatbots sometimes. The chatbots are always so robotic, then this is difficult. In terms of that, giving another example, that in a system like London School of Economics, earlier they are used to that. I heard this story. I don't know whether it is true or not, but probably true. that London School of Economics, they used to hire senior persons or other retired persons for their some kind of job. Like for example, some staff has retired, and after retirement, there is always a sort of a emptiness comes that I was so busy and now I'm nothing to do and all that. So that emptiness comes. So to avoid that emptiness also and assist also monetarily to some elderly people, so they used to create a job profile that you, as a senior, as a retired staff, you can work on the library and you can introduce or you can help the youngsters who are just joined the library, that what are the staffs, what are the books available, what are the rules in that library, how to issue a book, when to return a book, etc. Like where can I find a books on economics, where can I find the books on geography. So this kind of, that's a guidance kind of thing. So human guided at initial uh, help kind of. So those were replaced by robots, and there are many robots who were installed there, which were put there, and the robots used to come. So robot used to watch through their camera. They used to watch whether a person is standing, say beyond certain time, on a particular almirah. Then the robot will come to you, and robot will come to you and asking, "May I help? Or do you require any help?" So like a human voice, robot is coming with that, and voice operated systems, and the robots are replacing humans. Again, these are whether it is good or bad. It seemingly it's bad, but it has some different things also. I mean, I don't know how to present this, whether good or bad. But in any case, AI is revolutionary healthcare. Also, there is another example, healthcare with application in diagnostics, drug discovery, and telemedicine. Telemedicine is becoming very popular today. Not so many doctors are not available, not many good doctors are available, so telemedicine from a remote place, that is giving you some help kind of thing, and so the local people can help. After the telemedicine is done, then they can help. Now from this slide, I'll give you another story, and all I'm sharing my experiences which I gained over my life, so many years. So that kind of that came as a story, but some of the most of the stories are real and true actually. Now this story is again a real story, a true story. So I was working in one company in Sector 5 near SDF building, and after lunch I was just going for a walk, and that time when I was just walking, then I met one person, friend of friend, and he told me that, do you know any Java person who can join within 15 days or 20 days? I said, yes, I know many Java person, but whether within 15, 20 days, I don't know. But why so hurry? He said, my Java person has left suddenly. And the problem is that my work is not stalled, but actually some Java person needed to be recruited soon. I said, fine, I'll see if that is possible. But before that, let me know a little bit on the job profile. What kind of job? I mean, obviously, Java person you are looking for, so you have to write Java programs. But what kind of domain, what kind of thing you are working on? He said, no, this is actually a different domain. This is more of a medical system. Medical system means basically, medical imaging. Like medical imaging is like X-ray, then your CT scan, then your MRI scan, and a lot of different scans are going on in different places. So what they do is basically today all captures are done digitally. So all these images are captured digitally, and then those images are saved on a server, and then we have a panel of doctors who are expert doctors who basically provide some time from that server by looking at the capture image, and from that capture image the doctors give an impression, like for example the liver has increased or something happened or something, some abnormal situation. But most of the cases, 80%, 85%, this is normal case, like for example normal study kind of thing, like CT scan or say your USG ultrasonography, that giving a normal scan. Then why the person is going for the normal scan? Because maybe doctor has told that you do a CT scan for the full body scan or full abdomen or whatever, right? And that picture, that image basically, that image is basically being seen by the doctor, and and at the place where the image was captured, like sonography, for example, sonography, how is the size of the liver, how is the size of the spleen, what is the size of the kidney, those are basically like, pass a program argument. So those are arguments captured in that thing. Like, say your liver is X by Y, some dimension, your kidney is this dimension, and all that. And they have a table. Table is normal dimension should be what, right? So they have a computer program now. Now the computer program is basically comparing those and giving you a standardized report. So at the end, maybe in the evening, when you collect the report as a patient, then what you see? You see a two-page report signed by some medical practitioner. But those reports are being generated at SJ building in the sector 5, and they are generated by people or written by people who are very young persons. They don't know about medical things and all that. They are basically, they know the medical terms. They were trained on the medical term. And the doctor, as an expert, they put some term which we don't understand actually. Only the medical person can understand those shortened terms, and the shortened terms is being expanded like we did in the Bhav Samprasaran in the childhood. So those Bhav Samprasaran is done by these people and made a report, and report is being sent to the central server, to the actual machine, client machine, and it goes everywhere. I said, which are the nursing homes are involved? He said, all, you name it, anything, like Ruby, and Dishan, and then Apollo, and then whatever. And not only in Kolkata, it's in Bangalore, it's in Australia, this is in Canada, this is in US. So all these things are being generated by us. So I was afraid. I was quite afraid. So that means if I go to Apollo or go to Dishan, it doesn't matter. He says most of the cases it doesn't matter because you see the same report, because reports are generated by us. So I'm not making you afraid, but the thing is, these are happening. These are all happening. And at the end of the day, when the evening comes, one doctor comes to that particular nursing home and he has a bunch of reports printed and then signs one after another all the reports. He or she gets some money for that. He or she doesn't even know what is written in the report because he or she didn't take the picture. Sonography person was a different person, and the person signing on the report is a different person. I'm not saying this is illegal. This is legalized, 100% legalized. Anyhow, changing the mood now to cyber security. Cyber security is again AI used to detect and prevent cyber threats. Today, many people are very afraid because a lot of scams are going on the other scam. The other data, you should lock your other card. You should not expose your other card. You should not give your other card or a copy of other card to any person, to a hotel or anything. That is being cautioned. So what you have to do, you have to generate a virtual other card and all that. Whether that will be secure 100%, we don't know. But that will be better than your giving the normal other card copy to everybody. Because a lot of cyber crime are happening. And hackers can also use AI to launch more sophisticated attacks. So we don't know what will happen. Learning and skill enhancement, there are also AI-driven online training platform that offering personalized course. For example, in a class, when you take a normal class, so like in a class of 60 persons or class of 40 or 80, whatever, that class when we're addressing, then we try to tune that depending on the level of the students, we try to tune the class that I should talk this particular topic in a deeper way or in a lighter way or in more depth or more breadth, whatever. That we as a teacher we decide. But again, we basically take the mean of the class or sort of a median of the class and basically try to approach that. But every individual is different. If you see a e-learning situation, then e-learning situation, there could be platform which is AI driven, and depending on the pace of the particular person, the whole scenario of giving this training or teaching, that could be different. There could be more numeric examples, there could be more theoretical examples, depending on the actual need of the person. That could be AI driven. So there are today applications like Duolingo is one, coding platform like Code Academy is another. Then professional development platform like LinkedIn Learning is there. So all leverage AI to tailor learning experiences. Probably know this from recent news that Godfather of AI already left Google, and he warns of a danger ahead. For half a century, Geoffrey Hinton that nurtured the technology at the heart of the chatbots like ChatGPT. Now he worries it will cause serious harm. So, but he also told that even if I didn't do it, somebody else could do it. That means if I'm going away from the scenario, even then ওই দাঁত বন্ধ করে দেওয়ার ভ্রমটারে রুখি, সত্য বলে আমি তবে কোথা দিয়ে ঢুকি. So if you close all the doors, then you cannot stop people using it or the new technology coming on the field. So you have to live with the technology. You have to live with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not a threat. You have to think about ChatGPT. You have to live with ChatGPT. Interestingly, ChatGPT is not the ultimate God kind of thing. Because ChatGPT also is improving day by day, and ChatGPT also has to improve a lot. For example, I gave ChatGPT some numerical game, like numerical arithmetic kind of thing, which I learned from this famous Keshav Chandra Nag, Kishinag, like that monkey climbing on a oily bamboo. So monkey climbing on a oily bamboo is a typical kind of sum found in the Kishinag book, which is like the bamboo is of 30 feet long, and then this is oily bamboo, so that the monkey trying to climb is slipping actually. So every time the monkey is jumping by 2 feet, and monkey is slipping by 1 feet. So that means every 1 minute he's jumping up, and every alternate minute he's jumping down. So that means 2 minus 1, that is net in 2 minutes. That is the total going up. So that means 30 feet bamboo. ChatGPT solved it this way. The 30 feet bamboo net is 1, 2 minus 1. So it's still 30 minutes. 30 into 2, 60 minutes. This will take. But our way of solution was that last jump, when the monkey reaches on the top, then monkey will not slip down. So that means the last jump, which is 2 feet, 2 feet will be taken minus first. So 30 minus 2, which is 28. And 28 is going up and going down will go on. So for 28, this will dot 28 into 56, 22, which is 56 minutes, plus the last jump, which is 1 minute. So this will be 59 minutes. But ChatGPT came with the answer of 60 minutes. So this happens. Another mathematics sum I gave to ChatGPT, which was mixing water into milk. So suppose you have a pure milk of say 5 liters, and from the 5 liters you are taking say half liter of milk, and you are adding half liter of water. So the ratio is becoming 4.5 liter of milk to half liter of water. That's the ratio. From that again you take a half liter of milk, and again you add half liter of water. So you go on for 3-4 times, then finally you check what is the ratio of milk and water. This also, you'll be surprised to know that ChatGPT failed. ChatGPT couldn't give a right answer. But yes, for many problems, many problems like calculus problem or some other arithmetic problem, ChatGPT gave a correct answer. So this is also going on. I mean, not that ChatGPT has come, that whole world will now move with that. So now a change of perspective. Let me talk about a little bit of software development. And software development field goes on in the industry, because most of the time, or rather my past so many years, 35 years I worked in the industry. Only recently I joined academics, so I'm trying to show some picture from the industry actually. So what you seeing is believing, definitely. But this lady is not stealing the Taj Mahal. Software requirement certification we often ignore, and we don't give a stress on this, that we want to build a software, right? Recently, I know that in many colleges there was a hackathon was going on, and many teams were engaged with hackathon and all that. Our college also were engaged in hackathon and all that. So my personal view on hackathon is that the teams who are developing things very fast. Now, whether the teams have understood the requirement properly. So this happens in industry. This picture is famous, that how the customer explained, and then how the project leader understood, how the analyst designed, how the programmer wrote it, and how the business consultant described, and how the project was actually documented, because people hate documentation. They want to write a software, they want to write programming languages, all programming kind of thing, but no documentation. What operations installed finally, and how the customers are built. It's like a roller coaster, and how it was supported. There was no, people talk about developing a system, but they don't think about supporting a system for long. The system is developed, system is given to the customer, then what will happen to the support? If there is some need, some changes, some bug fixes, and all that. So this is a scenario. And in this scenario, when many things are going on, people have to develop many skills. That depends on experience, that depends on ability, that depends on growth opportunity, that depends on advanced training. So many things are there. Together will develop your skill. And when we talk about computer programming, today many people are doing computer programming, and many people are thinking that computer programming is mode hati ghora ki ache. There is nothing there in computer programming. But computer programming is tedious. Computer programming requires a lot of patience, and computer programming requires a lot of sense of art also. It's like a poetry, like Robert Frost said. Poetry is when an emotion has found its thought, and thought has found in words. And Donald Knuth, he has books, Art of Computer Programming. So computer programming is an art. Donald Knuth from Stanford. So he says this. And coding also, as I said before, that stupid machine will follow whatever code you are writing. So code never lies. Comments sometimes do. Sometimes you have comment something. Comment is not compiled by the compiler. So comment could be a old comment, and the code has changed already. So the code is the current thing. The code is the thing which is working, which is running. So this is also one famous thing I thought I should mention. And any fool can write code that a computer can understand. Good programmers write code that humans can understand. The inner meaning of this quotation is that whenever you are writing some software, be it a machine learning software, be it AI software, or be it a whatever normal software we talk about, we have to write a code where humans can understand, so that in the weekend, if you go to Mandarmuni or if you go to some other place, then you can spend time peacefully. Because if you write a cryptic code which others cannot even understand, to maintain that, to change that, then your teammates will not understand whatever you are writing. For example, if your handwriting is so bad, my handwriting is bad though, but still, if somebody's handwriting is so bad, then probably you have to. Today also we are not writing, I mean, in physical letter form, but earlier days when you used to write letters, then sometimes it happens that your handwriting is so bad, then maybe after 2 months, 3 months, when you go to that particular person physically, then that person will show the letter that I couldn't read whatever you have wrote. Please read now your own handwriting. This might happen. ডাক্তারদের হাতে লেখা তো আমরা জানি, we are so famous. একমাত্র ওষুধ দোকান ছাড়া কেউ বুঝতে পারে না. In terms of tool and technology, we adapt or perish now as ever is nature's inexplicable imperative. So we have to always cope up with this problem, that old way of doing things and new way of doing things. For example, is computer vision. Computer vision is a famous work of research under AI. So earlier, computer vision was more of a geometry kind of thing. People used to do a lot of geometry, a lot of mathematics to solve a particular problem or diagnose a particular pattern. But today, there are a lot of machine learning techniques are is driving the show, and to the machine learning patterns are different things that coming up, and so this is what the old way, a new way of doing things. And also, we have to always, I mean, keep on the changes, because it is not necessary to change, but survival is not mandatory. So to survive, we need to make changes. We have to accept changes. This is not related to AI, but I thought I should just mention it that today many people are talking about agile process architecture. So on top of culture and values and principles, practice, tools, etc. The agile programming is acts as a key, and unfortunately, many people talk about agile programming, but without knowing what agile programming is meant to be. So agile programming claims that the program should be more structured, more compartmentalized, more sort of less interacting with one another, sort of less coupling kind of thing, less coupled. That way, it can be more robust towards scaling up to a newer architecture. But what people think usually by the so-called the managers of the industry, they think that by putting agile practice, this will make the program writing very fast. And this hackathon thing again, I mean nothing to say against hackathon, but since I'm getting a platform, I want to address this also as my own feeling on hackathon that software writing is a slow process. Software writing takes time. Software writing takes a lot of design effort and a lot of understanding on the requirement. So can a software be written in 24 hours like that? Question again. Again, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So that way our thinking pattern also has to change. This is again some agile thing. I think this is not needed maybe. But agile myth versus agility, as I said, that last team distributed in different time zone, object orientation, UML, reuse, this also has to be there in a large software. Otherwise, this will be difficult to make it in a real good software. Otherwise, by putting agile forcibly in a system, that will make you a fragile system. So, have you heard the name of Ivar Jacobson? Ivar Jacobson is one of the three amigos called Booch, Ramba, and Jacobson in a UML scenario, Unified Modeling Language. So he actually talks about this. Essence is the new sort of paradigm in the software engineering field, and there are sort of alpha cards which are like a deck of cards, and in a deck of cards you have to identify everybody in the team has to know that in which part or other in the you are in the identifying stage or situation under control or the whole workload or requirements have been addressed or the stakeholders involved all are there. Software system is a demonstrable situation so that you can demonstrate to the customer. So where are we actually at any point of time? That should be also part of the any software writing, be it AI software or be it any other software. So this talk about SEMAT. SEMAT is a new move by Ivar Jacobson. I'll skip that. Now coming to AI again, the other side of AI is there could be privacy breach by face recognition. Like normally, when you take pictures of a landscape or a sea or a Himalayas or mountain or whatever, then we try to take picture. We take pictures where, as Indian, sometimes we don't bother about the privacy things and all that. What I mean to say is that when you take a picture, you have to remember that the picture of the persons you are taking in that accidentally coming into picture, you have to be the face should not be recognized. Face should be blurred. But how many people do it? We don't, right? But usually when you take a picture of unknown persons which you have not taken permission, then face should be blurred. Otherwise, there should be privacy breach. Another question is when you are doing machine learning, we are feeding the system with different data, training. Are we maintaining ethics? Are we biased? So this kind of question will come. Learning knowledgeable, exhaustive. Knowledge is it exhaustive? Is it covering full thing, or this is a biased a part of the thing? And based on that, we are running the show. Or even if you applied AI techniques, machine learning techniques, if I ask you that what are the steps, then can you explain? Which is explainable AI. Can you deduce the logic that this is how I finally came to the final conclusion like that? Can you explain that? Can you deduce that logic? And can you explain whether the logic is acceptable? Also, ethical machine learning, that is again come to ethics and all that. And whether you will use the techniques as a boon or bane, that depends again. Because from the childhood we are writing that Bigyan Ashirwad na Abhishap, like that. So whether AI is a Ashirwad or Abhishap, that we have to say, we have to impart. Stephen Hawking told us the dangers of AI. The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. It could take off on its own, redesign itself, ever increasing rate. Humans who are limited by slow biological evolution couldn't compete and would be superseded. Tarun, in today, there are intelligent people, there are less intelligent people, there are sort of dummy people, dumb people. So will they survive in this fast world? How can they survive? This also you have to think. I don't know, have you heard this story or not? This is another interesting event happened. During Corona times, there are a lot of mishaps and happened. So it attacked our family also. We are all attacked in Corona. And I during that phase, I lost my mother also. So sad. I couldn't do anything. So during that time, during Corona time, people are so afraid to put persons or humans in the real sense, I mean, real game kind of situation or many different situations. So in a football game, this happened that the AI camera was introduced and there was no human was controlling the camera. So this was a football game in Scotland, and the problem is the referee was bald headed. So there was a floodlight and all that. It was a night game. So night game, all the floodlights put on the on the total field, and unfortunately, the bald head of the referee that was খুব চকচক করে তো অনেক সময় তো চকচক করার ফলে mistakenly the camera was thinking there is a football and was following the referee. So unfortunately, those who sat on their own houses and were watching the game, they were completely bored because they couldn't even watch the game properly because they were seeing the referee running here and there. This happened. Another incident. Detroit police used facial recognition system from a jeweler's security camera system to determine who had stolen some money, and the Michigan State Police crime lab that processed the video. This was from the captured video, and that led to the immediate arrest of Robert Williams on his front lawn while Robert Williams was playing with his young daughters. Robert Williams was a black. So lawsuit filed against Detroit police after controversial facial recognition system that leads to arrest of wrong person. So it was not Williams in the security footage after all. It was innocent. Some other person was detected as Williams. So when AI goes wrong, Exhibit A says a Detroit native, some native of that person, he says Williams said he would never be caught wearing a St. Louis Cardinals cap. When he was caught, I mean in the image capture, this was the person who was suspected to be a thief was wearing a cap, St. Louis Cardinals cap, some particular cap, some particular kind of cap. So this person Williams never wear such cap. So these are counters kind of thing. Exhibit B said Williams had an alibi with a digital signature. A video he posted to Instagram, he commute home from work at the same time as a shoplifting. মানে shoplifting যে টাইমে হয়েছে সেই টাইমে he used to commit from home, commute home from work. Exhibit C says Williams' image from the DMV license database that was used for comparison, nothing like the suspect. Well, aside from the fact that both images were of black men. So that means the image database were biased and had most pictures of black men, thinking that the black could be more thief-like person than a white person. So I was when I was doing my masters in University of Waterloo, Canada, one of my friend who was a Chinese, he asked me a peculiar question. He asked me one day that when you are getting introduced to another Indian, can you recognize that Indian? I didn't understand the question. I said, I didn't understand. What do you mean? She said that, but I think all Indians are look alike. I said, I thought all Chinese are looking alike. He said, no, Chinese are so different. They all look alike. No, this is wrong statement. I said, for Indians, this is a wrong statement. All Indians look alike. How can it be? Again, perception. He was having that perception. All Indians are looking alike. Anyhow. So finally, academic and government studies show that facial recognition system introduce bias that misidentifies people of color more often than white people. Says research cited by New York Times, and further they posit that this is the first known case of someone being wrongfully arrested based upon errors from a computerized system called facial recognition, which is again a proven technology. Just a cartoon. So thanks to machine learning algorithm, the robot was short-lived. Robot didn't stay long, so thanks that. I mean, like that. Someday will come like this, maybe. Humans will not be shortlisted. All robots. So thank you all. Any questions?
So first of all, I would like to say thank you so much for sharing your expertise and views on AI with us, explaining such complex concepts in such an easy and understandable manner. So thank you for your time, your engaging talk, and your dedication to making our event a memorable and enlightening experience. And now I would like to ask the audience to come up with their questions.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Sir, first of all, sir, just like Sania said, sir, I want to thank you once again, sir. Sir, I have attended more than five to six seminars about AI and ML, but by far, sir, your seminar was the best I have attended, sir. Uh, you have explained so many concepts so easily, and sir, you have also explained what is AI and how it is affecting our human life and all this. Sir, I have a question. Sir, what is your opinion about AI and how it's the future aspect of the AI which is going to affect our life? So just like you quoted, sir, AI will going to be dangerous. And sir, there are people who will use it for nuisance activities. Sir, what do you think that AI, into what aspect we have to use the AI and how it will going to affect our life?
Okay, let me answer in a different example. Say when knife was introduced first time from raw iron or raw metal or whatever, when knife was created first time, isn't knife dangerous?
No, sir.
Depends, no?
Yes, it depends.
Depends.
Depends, because we have learned from our heart that we will not use knife. We obviously will use knife of our fruit cutting, our cutting the vegetables, and our helping for different things, right? But not to cut humans,
Yes, sir.
right? Humans are not vegetables. So that learning, that value system should be there to prevent anything to cause a danger, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
AI, whether AI is dangerous or not, that depends on us actually. Obviously, there will be people. You might say that I have not done it; somebody else has done it.
Yes, sir.
Possible. But the thing is, there has to be system like again the law, the rules, and regulations, and all that, plus the ethics, plus the value system. So all these will prevent the bad part of anything. Not only AI, everything has a bad part and good part. We have to prevent the bad part, and we have to take the good of it.
Yes, sir. But sir, if all peoples believe about ethics, sir, there should be no criminals, sir. But there are criminals who
Yes,
do
there
such
are. There
activities.
are definitely like cyber crime and going on, right? But at
Yes,
the same
sir.
time, cyber crime is going on. But at the same time, we are not sitting idle. Also,
Yes,
we are
sir. We had
also
also not.
trying to prevent cyber crimes. Similarly, AI crimes also we have to not sit idle. We have to prevent. We have to think about devices that how to prevent that.
Sir, one more thing, sir. Sir, one just like the movies, sir. We used to just like sir. We used to see some movies, na ki, all the humans are going under the AI, and AI just capture the humans. So, what do you think about this, sir? Will in the far coming future, the AI can overrule us or will overrule us? There's some possibility or not, sir? Just like
I ha- I have lot of personal respect on humans. I think personally that AI will never go over humans because we created AI, right? We created AI, so AI cannot defeat us.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
That
Good
was
afternoon, sir.
really interesting. Okay,
Yes,
Bhuvan Bhaskar, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
yes,
Sir, I have a question.
yes.
Sir,
Go ahead.
sir, as we know, AI has the potential to revolutionize healthcare. Can you discuss some groundbreaking AI application in medicines, like diagnosing diseases or personalizing treatment plans, and the ethical consideration there is?
See, one thing is when this AI was coined first time, many years back. I mean, AI actually was coined many years back. Then again, a few years back, AI has become very prominent again. One some point of time, AI was sort of backseated. But initial days when AI came first time, then then there was a concept called expert system, and that expert system, the first expert system probably was called Mycene. Some Mycene means basically this was a expert system based on some question answer system, and that used to question the patient on different symptoms, and based on the symptoms and some that the early system didn't have any this medical data and all that. So early system was just on a question answer system that depending on the symptom it used to diagnose that what kind of or rather rule out what kind of situation problems or disease the person could have depending on the symptom. But that Mycene was just a expert system package, a software, but that was used by some doctors as a helping hand kind of thing. So that the AI system, initial AI system, which is a Mycene, what was the name, and this was expert system. The expert system was made by knowledge base from different experts that what are the symptoms for different kind of diseases, and just to narrow down the list of diseases that a person could have, then the final decision on the human. So final decision is not taken by AI system. So today we are talking about AI robots and all that, and sometime we are talking about robotic surgery and all that. So robotic surgery again is not, or rather should not be unmanned. There should be some person in charge. Some doctor should be in charge physically, even if a robot is used. Because robot is again ultimately a machine. Machine could be intelligent, machine can be stupid also. Machine could be just following the instructions. But human also can do mistakes. But human has their own judgment when to do what. That machines may not have that power yet. And someday, if the machines have power, just for debate's sake, if I say the machines will have that power, machines also can think like humans, then by that time, humans also will become more intelligent. Like, just to give an example, when I was a child, in my say I was having 4 years of age or 5 years of age, compared to my son when he was 4 years or 5 years of age, compared to even some person who is 4 years or 5 years age today, the intelligence is also increasing over the generations,
Yes, sir.
like that.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have a one question. How do you envision the future of AI in education, and what role could AI play in personalizing learning experience for students of all ages?
See, as I mentioned this also in my slides, that this could be personalized depending on the pace of the learner, So that, like for example, some learner could be slow in learning, some learner could be fast in learning, right? So depending on the pace, and some learner may be liking more mathematical examples, or some learner could be liking more real life examples or story like situation, so that the learning can be faster. So different people have different learning pace and different learning style. So if that style can be taken, which is not possible by humans to do individual teaching. So individual teaching is possible when the private tuition kind of thing is going on. But in a class, when there are 60 persons or 70 persons, then probably the teacher has to teach in a, I'll not say monotonous way, but I'll say in a certain tone, so that to address a common path of the learning. But whenever a machine comes, then the machine would be more individual learning. So in a individual learning pace, in my own privacy, I can learn in my own speed with a machine. That could be a scenario. Even for a adult learning kind of situation, where suppose in my age, or in a say middle-aged person also, the person might be hesitant to go to a classroom sitting with other 50, 60 persons and taking a class. So that kind of situation, the machine can help that a aged person or a semi-aged person or middle-aged person to help in his own privacy. I can learn my thing. In a classroom, there is no privacy at all, because in a classroom, if I ask a question to some student, then the student cannot answer. Then other students might feel that this student is a dumb kind of person, right? So that means the student privacy is being lost in a classroom, which may not be lost in a machine to one correspondence to a machine.
Yes,
That could
sir.
be possible.
Okay, sir.
Anyone else among the panel who wants to ask some questions? Please take
Sir, I have.
advantage.
Sorry,
Okay,
Sanya. Sir,
Ayush.
I have one more
Okay.
question, sir. I am just listening you what you are
Yes.
saying, sir. Just like the example you have said, sir. There's suppose a robot arm who does the operation on the patient, and there should be a doctor or some person who's going to be the in charge.
Correct.
Sir, what happen if something goes wrong with the doctor with the robotic hand? Then who's gonna be the responsible? Whether it's the in charge or the doctor who's looking for this, or the company who's trained the model, or we'll just consider it an accident and remove it, forget it.
Interesting question. Interesting. Who takes the responsibility? Who takes the responsibility is a social question than of a technology question. Usually, what happens, as we see in our society, when something goes wrong, then there is a you probably have heard this, that nobody, everybody, somebody, and anybody game,
Yes, sir. I just something know about it.
right? So basically, somebody will blame somebody else,
Yes.
and anybody will say this could be everybody who is responsible, and everybody say that everybody is not responsible, but somebody is responsible. So that blame game is different.
Yes.
Blame game is completely different. Nobody wants to take a blame on him or her. So it's a passing game kind of thing. So if I bypass that not a passing game, then ultimately the responsibility goes to the doctor, human doctor, who is running the show.
हाँ,
Just a
मतलब
given different example. Suppose today in a circus-like situation, like earlier days, that there used to be animal games in the circus, right? Tiger, lion, and all that. But today, tiger, lion is banned in a circus.
yes.
Earlier days, we have seen also that the person responsible, there is a fence over that particular stage, and within the fence there are a lot of tigers come, and a lot of animals came, and even lions came, and then there are a lot of show going on with the trainer. Now if something goes wrong, if the tiger jumps out of the fence and tiger attacks somebody, who is responsible?
The circus, the management of the circus party, yes, sir.
Maybe the circus owner, maybe the government who allowed animal show.
That can be also, sir, why the government. about
Difficult, no? Difficult to.
yes, sir.
Blaming is different thing,
Blame.
but taking responsibility requires a lot of strong human heart.
Means sir, about my question, the doctor, if the doctor sees that the robotic hand doing something error, he should take in charge of and just remove the authority of the
Yes,
bot.
for example, like today, many flight system
Yes, sir.
in a flight, autopilot is running on basically,
Yes, sir.
and most of the cases it's a standardized landing and this thing. So basically, autopilot takes care of. But in some situation, if the weather condition or the particular situation is so different, then the experienced pilot can take control and take over the full control and save lives.
Yes.
And this happened many times.
Yes.
So
I have
like that.
yes. I have also see about the discovered documentary about this autopilot thing, sir. There's a case where the autopilot just reading wrong values and all the lives of the people who is flying in the plane got dead something.
Exactly.
So the person in charge should be responsible. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
I think these are the questions we had for Debashish sir.
Mhm.
And once again, sir, I would like to thank you for addressing the doubts and queries of the students. Your presence was a tremendous asset to our program, and we are truly grateful for your dedication to fostering learning and growth. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for.
Okay. So, with this, we have successfully concluded the first half of our session today. We will be back after a short break. We kindly request that you return at 2:45 p.m. sharp to continue with the second half of our session. Thank you and stay tuned.
Chandan, you are requested to start the live streaming of the second session by 12:30. Sorry, 2:30.
Okay, I'm leaving then. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Chandan, did the live streaming off?